What's up, everybody? Coming in with a new little how-tos, tips, guides, build, counter matchups type thing. I'm doing Xing Tian today, as you can see in the title and the description. I'm going to start out with the build. Obviously, this is Xing Tian. So we're going to go right into the build, get it done really quickly. The core build is going to be your starter items. You're going to go Bumbas, you're jungling, obviously. I'm kind of back and forth between whether I want to start purple pot and go 3 health pots and then 2 mana pots. So this is one core start. You can do this if you want. I haven't really found more success with this than another. It just depends on if you think you're actually going to fight and if you're going to win the fight. Like always, kind of like my starter video is the same thing. Now the other start is obvious. You're going to go boots 1. And you're going to go down to 2 health pots, 2 mana pots. So this is your safe start. Purple pot's your aggressive start, whatever. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these real quick. And now your full build is going to be Shoes of the Magi, Chronos Pendant. Let me find this. Chronos Pendant. So you got damage, penetration, amazing. You got extra mana, amazing. You have CDR. This is the key. You have to have CDR on this god. This god does so much damage with abilities. His abilities aren't on a crazy long cooldown, but when you pair it with CDR, your one's on like a 5-second cooldown or something crazy like that. Your ult is on some short cooldown. Your ult is insane after like level 10 or 11 or whatever it is, level 9. It's ridiculous. So the next core item is actually probably the most core item. Besides a CDR item, Gem of Isolation is actually very much a core item. You have to have Gem of Isolation. It gives you health, it gives you power, but the slow. It slows on all 3 of your abilities and your ult. You're basically going to perma-slow somebody that doesn't have a beads or a wing blade or a dash and can get away from all of your abilities somehow. And next, this is where the build can vary. I like to get defense in all my builds, so I pick up a Mail of Renewal here. Mail of Renewal is actually broken. It's one of the best items in the game. So pick up Mail of Renewal, you get some defense, get some more health, and then you go into some penetration. Spear is very, very strong. As long as you're able to combo your full rotation, then Spear is going to be your best pickup here. You can go Shard if you're having trouble getting off abilities and you're really only hitting them with one ability. The last item, is going to be a Rod of Tahuti. Rod of Tahuti is going to boost all your damage. It's amazing, blah, 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 you know what I mean. Now, here's where the build can vary. We can backtrack, and we can take away our Spear, and we can take away our Mail of Renewal, right? So instead of Mail of Renewal, we're going to go full damage. We're going to go into a Spear here as our 4th item. Then we're going to go into a Soul Reaver. Soul Reaver is literally going to allow you to one-shot somebody. Granted, you can just about full combo somebody. You can ult 2, 1, and they're almost dead almost all the time. Your Soul Reaver paired with your 2 and your 1 is going to do like 90% of someone's health. It's actually insane. It's kind of crazy. I really, really recommend you do this build. Try this build out. If you do this build and you don't do a ton of damage, then you need to work on how to actually play the god, because the god is a very good mid to late game god. It's a carry guardian, which doesn't happen very often. Like there's literally no other carry guardians at all. So that's something you really want to look for, is this build, this damage, pumping out as much as you can. You can build full defense and you're still going to do a lot of damage, but this is like the LOL I'm going to carry as a guardian type build, which is just nasty that you can do it. I'm going to talk about the abilities a little bit. Your 1 is what I max out first. So when I go into the jungle at level 1, I actually level up my 3 just to clear the first camp. It does the most damage. You jump and then you jump again on the target on the camp doing 130 damage, which is crazy for starting damage. And then I rank up my 2, because your 2 allows you to kind of control people. If you start fighting at mid-harpies or whatever, you can knock them up, root them, add some extra poke damage in. You can always leap away because you have your 3. You're kind of safe. But then after that, all the other points, you're going to max your 1 first. Your 1 has high damage. It has it does 2.5% per second. Someone told me it's bugged and is doing it every 0.5 seconds, which I'm not so sure about. But 2.5% of someone's health every second is still insane. It's a lot of damage. Like, it's not a little bit of damage. That's a lot of damage being done. The next thing is you're leveling your ult. Your ult is crazy. At max rank, it's hitting like a truck. You pick people up. You can pick up a whole team if they don't have beads. At level 5, you're usually able to exploit your ult a little bit, because most people aren't going to have beads at level 5. and you do enough damage without any items to ult somebody and then use your 2 and then use your 1 and kill them. So that's what you're going to look to do at level 5. After that, you got to really pick and choose who you ult, because if they beads it and get out, it's kind of really hard to turn that. Unless you're planning on getting them to ult, say you blink in, you ult, they beads, and then you run away, and your ult's on such a short cooldown after you get CDR that you just go in and ult again, which is a really good strategy. But anyway, as you heard me, the full combo is you ult, you'll turn around and throw them into your team. While they're in the air, you will 2 them, you'll knock them up while they're in there, which they really don't get knocked up again, but you'll land on them and they're rooted. And then you throw your 1 out. That's going to be your best rotation. Technically, you can also ult, and then 1, and then 2, and then your 1 will be back up pretty soon again. So either one works. But like the safe full combo is going to be ult into your second ability, into your first ability. And then you always have your 3 to chase them down or get out if you need to. So that combo is what you're going to look to do with your abilities. Now, Xing Tian, I think, is one of the best junglers in the game. I do still think Serket is probably better than him, because Serket has higher mobility and pumps out about the same amount of single target damage, just not the same amount of team damage. So that's why I think Xing Tian kind of excels, is the team damage aspect, the control aspect, as well as you have a percentage health ability, which is kind of similar to Serket, but it's an ability. It's not you're having all your abilities up, it's just one ability you throw out and you're doing a ton of damage. So I'm going to talk about counter matchups a little bit, at least in the jungle. The only super duper hard counter matchup is a Weak3n. A Weak3n can pull off your 3. A Weak3n can immune a lot of your abilities. She can jump out of your ult before you get it off. That's another thing. Your ult has like a wind up. You start spinning and you don't pick people up right away. So people with dashes and leaps can get out very, very easily, and it's something you have to try to avoid. That doesn't mean don't play this god into every god with a leap. You just have to make sure they're stuck in an ability. Like, say an Agony throws a bomb out. As he's throwing the bomb out, if you blink in and you ult them, they're not going to be able to dash in time. So you just got to have to time your abilities, make sure their leaps aren't up, make sure they can't get away, make sure their beads aren't up. That's the biggest part. With that being said, all that stuff being very important, you also have to remember that anyone that has high mobility is going to fall into this category of being able to dash out of your ult and get away and all that stuff. The low mobility mages, like say a Pooch, Anubis, Poseidon, even your Freya as an ADC, anything that's not crazy mobility is going to be a good target. The targets, the enemy team players who don't have beads or don't have high ranked up beads on a beads 2, beads 3, they will be the targets you want to focus. There really, like I said, isn't too much to avoid in the form of jungle versus jungle matchups. You want to avoid a Weak3n, but that's about it. Serket's still going to be very hard for you, and just most of the really high mobile gods will be difficult unless you're allowing them to use their leaps, to use their initiations and counterfight, or just catching them off guard. That's going to be your best bet. Like I said, follow all these things, follow my build, pay attention to these gods you're playing against, make sure you know your early game is weak, your mid game is fairly strong, your late game is very strong on top of that. You can add in tank items in your build, it's up to you. And just remember all these things. I really do hope this video helps you guys. I hope it teaches you something about the new god that you didn't really realize, because this new god is very strong. You should be putting time into Xing Tian. If you do, I think you'll blow people away when the god gets into ranked, if you are a ranked player. Even right now, I think people are still learning, so if you take this, you'll just destroy kids. So, like I said, comment on the video, let me know what you think, any questions, whatever. Like the video, subscribe. You guys have been treating me amazingly with the subscribes on here, the likes, all the comments, all the views on my videos. I really do appreciate it. So, I hope I can keep putting out content that you guys like. I'll see you guys next video.
Oh, this you crazy mother.